to make sure I wanted to do the introduction first before going start, classes like that. Or, like you have classes from Monday through Friday.
Correct.
And because none of them was introduction, so I assumed it's best to do an introduction before starting those classes from Monday through Friday.
Not only is it best, it's required.
That's required.
You cannot attend the other classes until you first done an introduction. Okay. And we have specific reasons for that, because these methods are capable, if you're using them properly, they're capable of bringing a profound transformation to human life. But at the same time, if they're used improperly, they can do a lot of damage to the mind and body. So, our system is a very complicated system, and if we're meddling around with it too much without knowing what is the mechanism of this, we could create a lot of damage to our well-being. Because after all disease, why does any disease happen? It's because disturbance of the equilibrium of forces in the body. So when there's a disturbance of equilibrium of the body, we call this physical disease. If disturbance of equilibrium of mind, we call this mental disorder. So it is possible through improper practice that you could create a disturbance in the equilibrium of your system. So I don't know if you've ever heard of something called Kundalini syndrome. Kundalini syndrome? Have you heard of Kundalini? Okay, there's a kind of yoga called Kundalini yoga, and it deals with awakening the tremendous energy within the human body, redirecting it along the spinal cord and reaching the higher centers of the brain, where this will awaken different states of perception. So it's a kind of yoga which is very much focused on transformation of the energy within the body. And there's something in the United States which has been recognized, which is called Kundalini syndrome. And this is physical and psychological disorders that happen from the improper practice of what's called Kundalini yoga. And in China, in ancient Chinese medicine, there's something called Qigong. You may have seen, for example, with Tai Chi, they're practicing physical movements combined with rhythmic breathing. Similarly, in China, there's something called Qigong psychosis. Similar principle. Qigong is dealing with transformation of the energy in the body, and if this is practiced improperly, it leads to mental disorders or physical problems. So that's called Qigong psychosis. So if we want to use yoga in a way that can really bring an impact to human life, we need to approach it with an understanding of what is the science behind it. The way that it's being transmitted in the West I would say it's very irresponsible. Because when the science of yoga came from the East to the West, it became a commercialized force. So its original spirit was very much lost. So today you can enter into a yoga center and learn, go through 1 month training and be certified to teach yoga. But this is something where maybe a whole lifetime will not be enough to master what it is that we are talking about. So because of this, people are practicing yoga improperly, and then you have negative press in the media that says yoga can be dangerous to human health. This is a result of improper transmission. So it's necessary not only to know what are the techniques, because just look at this. Let's forget about techniques for a moment. Any physical action that we do in the world, is its quality determined by the physical act, or is it more to do with the quality of the mind that is behind our actions? For example, you can smile, right? How many ways can a human being smile? He can smile out of anger, he can smile out of jealousy, he can smile out of envy, he can smile out of joy, he can smile out of love. Same action, but the inner quality behind it is totally different. So I can be here, I can bow down in front of you. How many ways I can bow down? In India and Japan, this is a social formality. It's considered polite to bow down. But this is not the original intention behind this gesture. When you will bow down, one part of your ego has to surrender itself completely. So I can bow down here, totally empty within myself, or I can bow down with a mountain of egotism within myself. Same action, but totally different. The same is the case with yoga. You practice these physical postures. So suppose you're practicing it, or you want to look beautiful. You want to impress other people. You're just doing it to strengthen your own greed and egotism. Nothing wrong with beauty of the body. But let us understand that in life, whatever strengthens our ego, strengthens our attachment. Whatever strengthens our attachment leads to more suffering. So if we want to use yoga as a way towards true happiness and well-being, then we need to approach it with the proper perspective. And this is such an essential question. Think of this in a universe and in life where everything is a constant river changing. Everything is changing moment to moment. Nothing stays at rest even for a brief moment. That is true when it comes to the outside world. It is also true when it comes to your inner experience. Thoughts are always arising and disappearing. Emotions come and go. Sights, sounds, mental impressions. We have such a world of experience, but do you find anything in your experience that is truly permanent? Right?
Yeah, it's
What, for example?
permanent. There's no such thing as permanent, of course. You can have a periodic change. Some change can be for a long time, but permanent, no.
Sure, or it can linger around for a while, but it's bound to disappear sooner or later. If not in life, then in death.
Yeah, that's permanent.
So that's the challenge we are faced with in life. In a universe in which everything is constantly changing, how is more enduring happiness and well-being possible? So this is why in yoga we always talked about non-attachment.